Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn and I have a message of the day. There's definitely some Easter messages there, so I wanted to get it out to you today. And it's so beautiful out. I'm sitting outside. It is the 9th, and happy Easter to everyone who celebrates Easter today. And again, I just have this message of the day for you today. I'm going to show you the picture of the message, the card read. And I have a few decks, a few new decks. I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards at the end as well. But I have the Journey of Love at the top, the tea leaves, and then the, I want to say Forecast Oracle, but that's not the right name. I'll have to think of it. And then the LENORMAND REVERIE KIPPER deck mixed. And then the bottom deck is the LENORMAND REVERIE, but it's only the half of the deck with all the characters. So, whoops, sorry about that. So I'm going to pull this up close so you can see better. Sorry about that. It's a metal table. Okay. And this is the read. And you see down there at the bottom with the Lovers and then the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And then the Two of Cups at the end there, very loving energy. So besides the fact that I got a few decks for you guys to pull some oracle cards at the end as well, last night I was listening to Cryon. And it was so funny. I was just listening when I was falling asleep. And right at 1:33 on this video, Cryon says, I want to tell a story about Evelyn, the everlasting tree. And that was at 47:12 on the video. And it was just about how, you know, the original tree grows roots, and then because of that grows roots to all of the new trees, and then they're still all one at the end. So it was just so funny. It's 1:30 at night and Cryon's telling a story about Evelyn, the everlasting tree. And of course it was on Easter. And so, like I said, I used the Journey of Love and then the tea leaves, the Fortune Oracle, that's what it is, the Lenormand Kipper, and then the half deck. And that was 11:03 to 4 to 11:11. So 3 and 4, the Emperor and the Empress, and then 11:05, 11:07, 11:11 for the last two decks, which comes up in Gematria as twin flames in the first entry. The cards at the end of each deck, which for those of you who don't normally watch, the left is the underlying energies. I usually pull out 3 cards, and then whatever other cards need to come out, I count or I use them in the read. And the numbers that came up at the end of the decks for this read were 102412 and 202415. And the messages around that came up as because first the Mountain Road came up in the tea leaves in the underlying energy, and the Road to Success, with the second half of the deck pulling the Fire, Finger, Flag, Firecracker, Feather. The numbers came up as Destined Judgment of the Hanging Man and the Devil, with the Queen of Wands, or the monkey, in the middle, the High Vibe Queen of Wands with wise perspective, and I was just going to say precise, so perhaps precise perspective, but remember the Queen of Wands is 24, which is also Omega, the enlightenment at the crown, and Omega is Om and Ega, which is the feminine ego. So the wake-up call of the Queen of Wands to the shadow, who's reflective. The 10, 24, and 12, and then the 20, 24, and 15 were coming up as the 10 and the 20 as the masculine and the feminine, with Source supporting them both. And this was coming up at 12:21. The wake-up call of that Queen of Wands to the shadow, reflective, and the divine masculine and feminine with Source support. Conceive the lambda leap. The 4 is the L and the 1. The lambda, which is the lamb and the father, and the leap of the 1 from dot to dot. In the space between the divine masculine leap to the high priestess or higher self and the divine feminine's leap to the Hierophant. So again, the traditional and the alternative. So, and it was funny too, because I was looking for one of Teddy's toys and I couldn't find it, because it's like an Easter egg. It was yellow and it's a fluffy toy, but it was the only toy I couldn't find. So we're on a little bit of an Easter egg hunt in the house for Teddy's yellow toy. So then I was going to use, my daughter bought me a silver Rider-Waite deck that's all silver, but it's really, really slippery. And as soon as you pick it up, the cards fall all over the place. Literally, it's that slippery. And I wasn't going to use it because I knew it was going to make a mess if I tried to pick it up. But then after I put the decks down, I was guided to go back to that silver deck. And of course I picked it up and it fell all over the place. So I had to pick up all the cards bit by bit so I wouldn't make them fall again. And then whatever was left when I put it back together was the way I was supposed to read the underlying energies and the next cards to come out. So then every time I tried to pick them up, the mess would get worse, which was the message coming up here. Every time I tried to pick them up, the mess would get worse because they have to do it themselves. So now the deck was finally back together. The underlying energy started at the Two of Cups, which is where my read had just ended, at the Two of Cups. So soulmates came out here as Teddy sighed and then came back into the living room from the kitchen when I thought when he sighed he was actually in the living room. So it was really weird. It sounded like he was already here. And then the soulmates, starting again, are coming up as impatient. And again, the fallen angel coming up. And, you know, keep in mind that it's Easter today. So there's a lot of plays on the energy of the crucifixion on Friday, 4/7, and then Easter today, 4/9. The fallen angel to stand up and fight, to knock them off their high horse, to take down the quote-unquote man with all the attention, or lack thereof, or one with a bad reputation, fighting the crowd. He realizes he is fighting himself, and thus decides to be the Knight of Pentacles, offering them help instead. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, legacy, or the world, heaven on earth, each with their own special something, and a broken heart, a story. And then Love Rain on Me was coming up. Or telling a bedtime story to the world of 3 swords in the stone, the path of one heart, the heart which is here, the cross, of JC and Mary Magdalene, both the vertical and horizontal pillars, the channel and the rest, or the support system, Mother Nature. So I go into this message with the silver deck, which I wasn't even planning on using, before I go into the read of the other 4 decks. So this was all from the silver deck. At 1127 is justice, truth, and balance in alignment with the 27 of the Ace of Wands, with the world upside down, the 8 of Wands upright, the 4 of Pentacles reversed, the Judgment card upright, and the 3 of Cups reversed. In an upside down world where death becomes her, the divine feminine in 5D world, where she went into a dream and heard the news, the divine news today, about the arrows of love and the divine masculine's heart coming out of the bat cave in the ultimate wake-up call to wake everyone up. Little chupa vampires to see what they could see as Gabriel's plus sign rolls out from their trumpet and the sleeping violin. The bow that pulls the strings, oh so beautifully, and actually the word strumptious came up, which is the path of the rumptious, the mother, child, and then the father, all grumpy about being woken up early. And again, the reference to the 7 trumpets comes up, originating from Revelations 1:9, and then explained in chapters 8 to 11. And 8 and 11 in the tarot deck always can be reversed, because some decks use strength as 8 and some use strength as 11, and vice versa with justice. They're used interchangeably. So apparently the announcement has something to do with Charlie Brown and Lucy in the pumpkin patch, or Halloween. All Hallows Eve, the 11 days before 11/11, The Waking and the Walking Dead, Thriller, and Michael Jackson. Michael and Jesus as Gabriel, as God's finger to put their lips, his finger to their lips, and just couldn't resist, the moth to the flame and all, at 11:37 of aligning with King of Cups and unconditional love. A meeting in the graveyard, the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash, as God on high hung over the next day until the 3rd day when they could find joy again. The world of the divine feminine in 5D, an energetic exchange with the divine masculine's heart opening up, source direct, or prime creator's directive, for prime delivery with a plus sign without color, only sparkle and glitter, as all that glitters is gold. God, the Ancient One, to get up early, even if you're not happy about it. So then they were calling me to add 3 cards, to find peace moving on without the sun, or on your own. Friday is Sunday, or excuse me, Friday to Sunday, where you're good to go. Again, Good Friday to Sunday. And then good to go is coming up as good Q go as well, because the 2 when written fast can look like the capital Q. So then ODQ is coming up, which means there was no specific word for ODQ, but it is OD as an overdose and Q. But the closest word that came up was odalisque, ODALISQUE, which is a female slave in a harem, a very desirable or sexually attractive woman or chambermaid. And OD, of course, is ODing, but also an alleged force or natural power to mesmerize by magnets, heat, light, or chemical, or vital action, etc. OD is also fire, the sharp point, or with for from since each other odd and strange, and again, not even. So the Queen's ability to mesmerize the arrows of love on fire with sharp point, like the arrows of love on fire, and actually at the point. The odd that's not even, and strange origination, an overdose of go to go. The go-go dancers, spiraling G-O-G-O, or 6060, the spiral of the O of source energy in the human, or 6D to 6D in an instant manifestation, or man-I-festation, the mother and child moving on without the sun, or leaving home without the sun, as the sun's gone down. But don't let the sun go down on me. So after frozen on the ladder of my life, I took a chance and changed your way of life. But you misread my meaning when I met you, closed the door and left me blinded by the light. Although I search myself, there's always someone else I see. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me. Don't discard me just because you think I mean you harm. These cuts I have need love to help them heal. At 12 on the dot. At high noon there, actually. So of course that was Elton John coming up. And then back to the beginning, where we started from, where I was just looking for Teddy's Easter egg, his yellow toy, and that ended up being an Easter egg hunt. At 12:24, which is the 12 of the Hanging Man, and again the Queen of Wands of 24 and Omega, the underlying energy of the 33 of God speaks, with the mule who's stubborn and unwilling to change, and the fly, a period of health and depression, where the 6 of the Chariot is charging ahead with confidence, strong and focused, with the main male number 1 and the Queen of Pentacles 66, which again is that GG, or the Golden Gates of the spiral. God's mule, the superfly chariot, the Magician main male number 1 and the Queen of Pentacles root 66, where God speaks through the 33 of Christ consciousness on the Rainbow Bridge by the mule on the suspension bridge, like at the Grand Canyon, where if just one little panel is out of place, the mule freezes up and won't move from the middle of the bridge, until the fly threatens ill health by biting them in the ass, to help hold the chariot, all lit up like Christmas. A Christmas or mass of love and family, and a Cinderella story, as your chariot arrives, milady. As inside main male number 1 and Queen of Pentacles, he in the Immaculate Legacy Hall inside, and she is in Nature's Legacy outside cleaning up, sitting in a special chair with some of her favorite things. One coin in particular, or Kohan, that she focuses on. At 12:33, again, the Hanging Man and Christ consciousness, the underlying energy of the 47, the 4 to 7 of the crucifixion on Friday, and the heart to the crown, which is here the soft card, and 34 of becoming, the 33 where God speaks. The 4-7 crucifixion, heart to crown, softening to the pearl inside in the energetic exchange, becoming the 33, which is the reflection of EE in energetic exchange, becoming the 33 today, rising into unity, with heaven in their eyes and arrows of love in exchange on the rainbow bridge to God's pot of gold, the Holy Grail, or the whole that's a G-rail, or the whole in rapid succession, success connection of one right after the other. Pick, 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 pick. And then sure. To reference, your life flashing before your eyes, the portal of 0 point spiraling train, which train is the plus rain, where rain is the ray in Rain Man, Charles, and Jerry Maguire's little guy. The innocence of vulnerability, no sight, and yet clear vision. When you can't see 3D, what else can you imagine there to be? Undistracted to your own imagination at 1242, the hanging man, seeing new perspectives, 1-to-1, as the 2 of Cups. From the crucifix to the crutch, or holier than thou to those without, and Ebenezer Scrooge and Tiny Tim, or ES as in Sophia, S is for Sophia, and Tiny Tim as TT, the Twin Towers, so expansive and contractive with a temper tantrum and sweet Tiny Tim, where the 2 extremities become the 1 in the middle, sharing equally. Everyone at the table sits on the same chair and shares the same food, and then poops and pees afterward. The 1 of the spiral dance and the 29 of the word that travels through her ovarian tubas, the channel of light at the end that looks like a pearl, a pear leaping from its tree, a partridge in the spiraling dance of the goddess, the GODDESS, or the divine directive of Sophia. The she at 1251 and then 1252 of the King and Queen of Swords hanging out together, the she who ODs on the spiral, is the child at the park going around and around until they fall down or get sick. The 12 of self-initiation, of being in the center, like on that round and round ride at the park, being in the center of it, in the cyclone at the same time, a dizzying prospect, but wise one at that. Christ or unity consciousness's gift through the fallopian tubes of wise creation, and a shift of perspective, of being wild and free, and letting go of attachments and resistance all at the same time, hanging out in the present, or as the gift. As the present, seeing the beauty within, the 58 of the 4 of Swords and the 5D connection, and sleeping beauty as well. So the card at the end here was the 1 of heart fire and the 59 of the temple. As the magic Christed spark of the golden white bursts through the spiraling red rose of the heart, as she bursts, as in the fallopian tubes, and he bursts through her heart at the 11th hour. Lady Liberty where freedom rings, from the heart of New York City and Manhattan, or the man with a tan hat, to the city of brotherly and sisterly love, where liberty rings the doorbell, ding dong, as the ships take flight from Philadelphia International in a failed experiment where the walls have eyes, and whisper through the whispering bench of Ben Franklin and Big Ben, Lady Liberty, and little Lady Sen. Frenchie in the English Patient, connections of New York and Philadelphia, and UK and France, and Betsy and wet sea and high sea to affirming sea, if and only if the Red Sea parts and sparks an evolution of titanic proportion. Frenchman saves dark German from herself, her own kind, in a kind of twist that shifts everything you ever knew but didn't know, at the heart of Lady Liberty, where angels bow at her feet and others fear to tread, in the temple of the map of intent, Atlas and Hercules in his directive and her harvest at 121, which is the magician and the completion of the world, the feminine and the masculine. At 121, the underlying energy is an older man with a nest, a needle and thread, and a mule. half stallion or stall lion, and half ass or the donkey donning the key. The older man who loves stability and family weaves a wish through the needle threaded, an inner transport from ass to stallion, but so hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe he's used to pushing and resisting the pull. It's only when the ass and stallion work together that they create a directional pull of moderate tempo. As the mule approaches the mountain road, after coming down the Grand Canyon, they didn't want to climb back up and were resistant. At 128, the leap to the twins, the underlying energy is unable to see the forest through the trees. A chain of events as the caterpillar inches its way, where the cat could be a two-faced friend, with casket ending a situation, with flute leaving a bad taste in your mouth, the Pied Piper, a friend or lover, whichever it may be, the cat and the casket, the flute and the flowers at 1:31 at the 11th hour, the 1 of the leap and the 31 of the group, the conflict or the contrast, the play or the competition, or the pursuit of happiness. Flowering into the bluebird of happiness, while Superfly deals with period of ill health or depression, or picked up something when they couldn't see through the forest or the multiple trees or families. Where the first card here is the fire in the finger, or tempted to pull the trigger, a warning or wake-up call to not touch the stove, to see the red flags and not lower your standards as the fireworks go off, hurting a bird and with a residual feather. Or firecracker was exciting, but was undependable and insincere, and at 1:38 and 1:39 perhaps tickled your fancy but couldn't make you laugh. In the underlying energy of the lion and the number 16 of the tower, sudden loyalty and protectiveness to charge ahead with the 1 of abundance, of luck, good news, success, and prosperity, or sudden power of the magician and the mother, and the 26 of the page of wands, taking off for a journey or new planes of existence. The 32 of the journey man, of transformation, to break the chains and be the one you want to be, suddenly manifesting an abundant trip as the lion lands a chariot, free to fly anywhere, and yet chooses coach, and 4 sparkling horses headed for the enchanted forest. Strong, confident, and focused, the lion's roar, the twins' abundance of hands together, break the sound barrier and break the chains, as Cinderella's chariot awaits, and Prince Charming is to be found. One in the forest and other Death Valley, was blind but now seeing through the family trees, and was scared by a shadow but now reflecting mountains magnanimously. At 1:49, the leap to getting your wish, the 9 of Cups, and the first card, the 14 of Judgment Day, which is today, and the 15 of the Key. The 14 is the angel and the 15 is the devil, to the number 30 of the sun and the union, or the home. As lovers, the angel and devil, in union of the sun today, Easter, to be and Mary Magdalene. To be and Mary Magdalene. The wake-up call to see your soul and letting go of past shadows. The key to open heart to new beginnings, directives, and adventures. The heart home in the sun, open to enormous growth ahead. The chariot is waiting. The book is open to a page. The key and lock are ready to put together. And the sun is out. The sky is blue. It's beautiful. And so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? So at 1:55, in the leap to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, with 4 cards here, the 33 of the unicorn, 34 of unity, the 20 of marriage, and 13 of goals, standing up for your beliefs, as magical as they may be, in the arrows of love and unity, and divine understanding, the renewal, peace, hope, as you radiate and attract great love here, as you attract emotional fulfillment and unconditional love and marriage, where Mary Magdalene is marrying the Magda line, or the magnetic dad, to lean on each other, transiting and progressing positively as personal goals are achieved. Go alls, which remember AWL is a whole maker, in making the whole to creating that 0 point at 201, or to the cliff, the feminine and the masculine, the Fool card, the cliffhanger, light as a feather with an open heart. At 202, Teddy was bored and ready to go out. And the underlying energy of the 4 of the King of Cups' house, the lambda leap to unconditional love of that King of Cups, in the garden of public domain, free to roam on Judgment Day. As beautiful fountains and angels and big beautiful flowers and glass, an announcement and a release as the Power Lady presents with gifts, truth, and what's outside, a false person or Leo ego, or the masked tango of a man and a woman on a high vibe destined journey, Madonna, or the Mother Donna, with 8 and 10, or perhaps August 10th, in the high vibe dance and tango with life essence on the love train, the positive rain. In the love, L-O-V-E, is the low V-E, or the holy place of offering. The journey that equals the jour of the day of Christ's energy at the Y in the road. As the main male, number 1, the magic man, or August 10th to the 11th, which is interesting too, because my parents' anniversary was August 9th, just before the 10th and 11th, but we also have Lionsgate in there as well. As the King of Cups is free with the truth of the masked tango on the journey to find himself, once stable, finding his sovereignty. At 212, the 2 of the feminine or higher self, and the 12 of the hanging man, seeing new perspectives, with the number 11 in the Page of Pentacles, of truth and balance and alignment, with the Page of Pentacles, cracking the whip of discernment, of truth, balance, and alignment, with the Page of Pentacles, the student of life, or Virgo with Libra and or Gemini, and the 17 of nesting the dream with the Queen of Cups. To death do us rise to the sun. The first card here, number 33 again, free at last, letting go of one's chains, or seeing freedom in death, alignment key, with the lock clicks into, when the lock clicks into place and the door opens, it was so easy. Aligning with the age of Aquarius and the accessing of Leo, that's ageless, the emotion of laughter and the ego now understood and freed by unity consciousness, as the king and queen go back to the green but can never go back there again. At 218, the 2 and the moon, or the 2 in a romance, or the feminine, perhaps the moon child here, the Knight of Pentacles and the Dark Knight approach the beautiful sovereign with a choice of freedom or victim, as the King of Cups and the Page of Cups, perhaps they're besties or soulmates, with the Page of Pentacles and higher self, or mediator of the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, the student of life, and the student of life. Stressed and then happy, or demanding the truth and then self-satisfied. The Empress and the Devil, both of their hands are up at 221. The Divine Feminine or higher self and the world or completion, coming full circle. Perhaps both are surrendering, or one with mic and one with open hand or etchings, or wanting their palm read, or ball and chain Empress and the King of Swords, codependent, or this could be the energy of being codependent or chained, or Capricorn on the witness stand, or claiming the devil made me do it, or 2 raised hands and 1 raised sword, coming full circle with the world or the word, with the Divine Feminine or Pisces fully exposed and natural, and adoring King of Swords, and with Hermit's light, or checking them out. The Elder, the Free Spirit, and the man who's all buttoned up at 225, the Divine Feminine or higher self, and the Knight of Wands, with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, who speak to the Magician in court, or Gemini or Virgo with mad abilities, with Justice Judge or Libra mediating, with the King of Wands then on the witness stand, as the Page of Wands is excited to go out or ask the Queen of Pentacles out, or makes the King of Wands feel young again. The Lovers, Knight of Cups, and Queen of Cups offering to nest the dream. And then even if the Queen of Cups will be the death of them, their sunshine and their home, with the Knight of Wands at the end here rushing back, as are on behalf of the Emperor, driving the King of Pentacles to partner one-to-one or get in there to compete and win, as the Emperor pushes the King of Pentacles to win over the Knight of Cups, or the Emperor has to go back to see the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups before driving to the King of Pentacles for some one-to-one. The Queen of Cups may have two suitors here, or the Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles are with the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups kids, as the Emperor's sending in the Knight of Wands to save the day, or the Emperor's picking up the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups, the two lovebirds at the Queen of Pentacles, to bring them to the King of Pentacles for some one-to-one. And this all ended between 133 and 135. So 133 is the Christ vibration to 34 of the energetic exchange with the wounded warrior at the end. So that, again, takes us back to the beginning again. So there was your message. And I'm just going to pull from two new decks I have. One of them is the Lovers Oracle, which is all hearts. So here's the deck of hearts. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card here from, see what comes up. All right, for Easter, what is our message today from the deck of hearts? There we go. So here's the picture on the one side, and on the other side is healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded in light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. And this card, I've only had this deck for a couple days, and it's come up so many times already. So that's a really important energy right now. And then from this deck, which is Messages of Love, Oracle cards. Okay. And on the bottom here, I haven't shuffled yet, but is Intuition. Let's see what comes up for you guys. It's getting a little, I'm out of the sun, so it's getting a little chilly out here too now. So beautiful out though. Okay. Okay, last card. All right, last card for Easter. What is the message for everybody? Oh, fell right out. Strictly sexual. Strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. And that's interesting on Easter, okay? The bottom of the deck is longing. So whoever's longing for you, someone is secretly yearning for you, this is strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. So there may be someone who is very attracted to you in that way, but that's not someone that is, and it's probably not your twin. So it's just defining that there may be someone who is very attracted to you, but it may not last very long. And that doesn't even have to be someone you have a relationship. Maybe just someone's interested, but maybe calling you to be more discerning about who you want to spend your time with or actually intimately connect with. Because remember, you're healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Find your relationship being healed this very moment. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. It's 3333. We just passed 3333. So, and now it's 3344, my business number. Rise and be loved. Have an amazing day. Again, happy Easter, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Bye. It's beautiful.